Hello everyone and welcome to another marvelous video. Marvel Comics has been introducing new characters and recently we witnessed a new one with massive power levels and attributes. We're talking about John Ironfire, introduced in Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants issue number 1, published in February of 2023. Created by Al Ewing and Paco Medina, Ironfire was showcased as a member of the Brotherhood of Mutants and in some cases might be appearing at similar power levels to Wolverine. His speciality was that he could turn blood into metal and he used it to make Wolverine-like claws. So without any further delay, let us dive into today's video where we will be exploring the origins of Ironfire. Now before we go into our video, we have a little request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you very much. Now let's begin. Who is Ironfire? Ironfire was introduced as a character from the alternate reality of Earth T/N 993 as a part of the Sins of Sinister storyline. It all happened after Mr. Sinister managed to create the future that he had always wanted. Showcased in Immortal X-Men issue number 1, Mr. Sinister learned that Moira McTaggart was in fact a mutant with the ability to reset the timeline after her death. Wasting no time, Sinister acquired a sample of her DNA and being an expert in genetics managed to create the Moira engine, a set of Moira clones. He activated a clone's X gene and made a save point that would reset the timeline the moment things went against his wishes, allowing him not only to begin fresh, but also with added knowledge. Sinister began his plans by first corrupting the Krakoan mutants by inserting codes of his own DNA into them. He then resurrected every deceased mutant as a modified clone of himself. It was only Hope Summers who fixed her flaw subconsciously. After 9 attempts, he finally managed to kill Emma Frost, Charles Xavier, Exodus, and Hope. In Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutant issue number 1, we get to see John Ironfire. The issue begins with Storm recounting the destruction of the planet Arakko. This was all part of Sinister's plans. Previously, the Krakoan mutants who were infected with Sinister's DNA molded the Arakko to join hands with them and defeat the Eternals. Later, when the Iraqi began growing suspicious about the Krakoans and wanted to launch a battle against them, Destiny arrived and asked them to wait. This led to their demise as the Krakoan Sinisters launched a full-scale attack upon them, bolstered by chimeras. With the help of a clone of Legion, they defeated the Iraqi and destroyed Mars and planet Arakko along with it. The surviving Iraqi survived on asteroids in hiding, and some served as mercenaries working for the highest bidder. Storm was one of them who led a group of 5 other Iraqi known as the Brotherhood of Mutants. They existed for the sole purpose of continuing their fight against the Sinisters. In the issue, Storm could be seen chiding Destiny for asking the Iraqi to wait, and that was when one of the Brotherhood of Mutants, Ironfire, arrived and impaled Destiny with a sword cast from his blood. It was soon revealed that Destiny was in fact Mystique in disguise. Mystique informed Storm about how Sinister achieved his plans using the Moira engine and suggested they kill the Moira clones and destroy his mission, which she agreed to, and asked Ironfire to prepare the Brotherhood of Mutants, which included Cable, Cora, WizKid, Ironfire, and Quick, for the battle. They arrived at Muir Island with Mystique and were soon attacked by its defenders, the Maggot Marrow Chimeras. While Cable, Cora, Quick and Mystique fought the Chimeras, Storm, WizKid and Ironfire went in search of the Moira lab underground. They found the lab to be encased in a gigantic impenetrable sphere. It was a living force field made up of Uniscian genes. WizKid began working on opening it while Storm and Ironfire faced more Chimeras. With the ability to transform his blood into metal, Ironfire launched metal blood spikes that impaled the Chimeras, while Storm summoned powerful bolts of lightning on them. WizKid tossed some hexagonal discs towards the spheres, using which he teleported the entire lab away. On the surface, Quick realized that Mystique was no longer with them, and on the other side, when Storm was seen praising WizKid for his skills, he turned out to be Mystique, who stabbed Storm and escaped. She was working with Destiny, who wanted to kill the leader of the Brotherhood of Mutants, but also acquire the Moira engine for herself. Back at the World Farm, Destiny could be seen gloating over her success, believing Storm to be dead. It is revealed that Orbis Stellaris orchestrated the theft of the lab, and the issue ends with Orbis stating that there would only be one who would have dominion. With the Moira engine stolen, the timeline continued without any reset. 100 years passed and the Brotherhood of Mutants, along with Storm, could be seen continuing to fight both the Sinister Council's Red Diamond Empire and the Compact led by Orbis Stellaris in the the second issue of Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. Ironfire was a part of it all and was instrumental in launching an assault on the World Farm, which helped the Brotherhood steal the Moira engine. He was contacted by Mother Righteous during the attack and asked if he had any regrets, to which he stated it to be the taking of a life during the Genesis War. Ironfire stated that his only solace was that Storm was there to guide him and he wholeheartedly trusted her. Unfortunately, while creating a wormhole to escape with Moira Lab, Storm used up every bit of her energy and she died, leaving the Brotherhood without a leader. In the next 1,000 years, the entire cosmos fell into disaster. The story continues in Immortal X-Men issue 3, where Mr. Sinister and Rasputin IV were on a mission to save the universe. Complex events occurred where unexpected team-ups were about to happen, all in the name of undoing the disaster. Sinister found a recording of Destiny where she confessed to having stolen the Moira Lab along with Orbis Stellaris, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. She also added that if Sinister found the recording, then it must be that Mystique was dead and she failed to obtain the machine and reset the timeline to get her back. This recording ended with Destiny proposing to team up with Sinister if he managed to get back to the machine and reset the timeline. Sinister also found Moira McTaggart, who agreed with him to reset the timeline and let the mutants win. Moira and Sinister eventually found the World Farm, only to be subdued by the Brotherhood. As Ironfire demanded to know about the Red Diamond Armada behind them, Sinister stated that the Armada was not with them but in pursuit of the World Farm, and that they should protect it at all costs, or else the universe would fall. Sinister also proposed to them to join hands to save the universe. The story continues in Storm and Brotherhood of Mutants issue 3, with John Ironfire being assisted by Sinister in protecting the World Farm and also resurrecting a clone of Storm with the help of her DNA stored by Sinister. Although the new Storm had the information uploaded by Ironfire, she had no memories of being the original Storm. The Brotherhood were still pursued by the Red Diamond Armada led by Emma Frost and was soon attacked by a formidable quartet of 4 powered chimeras. Emma merged her consciousness with a huge cosmic-sized suit of robot armor, using which she began attacking the World Farm. Sinister planned to reset the timeline immediately, using the Moira engine, but Ironfire denied him access to it. They were all defeated by the Emma robot until Storm, who had no idea of the extensions of her powers, called forth a massive destruction at the molecular level, destroying the massive Emma robot. Our new Storm also collapsed, owing to the massive amount of radiation exposure, and when Ironfire arrived to comfort her, Sinister shot him with the Doombot blaster from behind. However, it was later revealed in Sins of Sinister Dominion issue number 1 that Ironfire was alive, as he had already taken precautions. He was prepared for such an act of betrayal by Sinister and had hence coated his head with a sheath of metal blood. Ironfire was about to kill Sinister before he offered him an Iceman gene cocktail that would allow him to generate enough water to help produce more blood to challenge and fight Professor X, who Emma Frost had earlier summoned to save the timeline. During the final battle between Ironfire and Professor X, Sinister began sacrificing every Sinister-derived mutant in the galaxy. He did this in order to ascend into a Dominion until Ironfire was the one to kill him. Finally, Moira McTaggart reset the timeline. With the character's success, John Ironfire was later incorporated into the main continuity of Marvel. He was reintroduced in X-Men Red Volume 2, Issue 11. The issue showcased Arakko recovering from the millennia-long interdimensional war, all thanks to Mr. Sinister. While Storm was on a date with NASA scientist Craig Marshall, Professor X contacted her, demanding to know more about Magneto's death. Meanwhile, Nova Corps, Richard Rider, Kobach, Never Held, and Roberto da Costa were seen chilling when a sudden blast from the sky hit the ground, and from there emerges John Ironfire, stating that Genesis was coming. In the next episode, we got to see Blue, or the mutant known as the White Sword. When Genesis turned against the White Sword and his 99 champions, he sent John Ironfire to Arakko with the blade Purity to warn them about the soon arriving forces of Genesis. The scene next shifts to Ironfire, who is in the back office of Robert da Costa with other Iraqi. While Fisher King and Storm planned on collectively deciding upon the form of response to their soon arriving threat, Ironfire shouted out that this was a discussion and that the only thing they had to do was assemble their troops and prepare for battle. John explained to the Great Ring of Arakko why Blue chose to send him with the White Sword. He knew his defeat was inevitable and it was an attempt to prevent the enemies from acquiring the sword. However, before he could complete it, there arrived Genesis, all alone with the Staff of Annihilation. With her compelling words, she stated that Ironfire was a madman who had died and been resurrected 100 times by Blue, and hence should not be trusted or listened to. Ironfire, pointing his blade at Genesis, stated how she betrayed them when the demons of Ameth attacked. While Ironfire and the 99 other champions were the first line of defense, she was supposed to be second, but she never appeared to help. Genesis, annoyed by Ironfire's insolence, used her powers to emerge vines from the ground and restrain Ironfire, while the Great Ring seemed more or less convinced by her words. Soon, Storm arrived to challenge Genesis. Ironfire freed himself, and just as he was about to attack Genesis, she restrained him once again and took away the blade Purity, claiming it for herself. Soon the event known as the Genesis War begins, in which the Great Ring of Araco sided with Genesis, and this was the last appearance of Ironfire, and we're yet to see what the writers do with the character in future. Is Ironfire more powerful than Wolverine? Since writers are yet to showcase more of this character, we're yet to see what he can really do. Until now, we know that he possessed ferrokinesis as his blood was metal, so owing to this he can forge sharp objects from his blood. He mostly used this capability to produce metal horns from his head and sharp claws from his wrist. He's very comparable to Wolverine owing to the claws they both produce and the range they possess. He might as well be as strong as him, but his regeneration capability is yet to be explored. Whether his solidified metallic blood is as strong as Wolverine's adamantium. However, Wolverine is not just about his regeneration or his adamantium, but also his conviction to never give up and fight relentlessly. Marvelous verdict. So we come to the end of our video and we hope you liked our content. Marvel has been introducing several new characters with a wide range of capabilities, and Ironfire is one of them who could be developed into one of the more prominent characters in the Marvel universe in the future. Let us know if you'd like to see more of them, but with that we'll be concluding today's video. Feel free to add your comments and stay tuned for the next Marvelous video.